Shishir, what's the big shift in opportunities that you see?
Thank you. First of all, it's good to be amongst such a esteemed company, and I'm enjoying the conversation so far. So thank you guys for organizing this. Um, I think in the last 3 4 months, a couple of things have happened which have forced us in business leadership roles in many organizations to, like what Karthik mentioned, take a step back, right? So, as somebody who was born in this digital era as a company, being a very, very digital native firm, was not trying to pivot to something, but this is what we chose to be from the day one of our existence. We were always the ones trying to give customers a reason but why they should not have this as one of the opportunities, but probably the opportunity to double down on their share of their channels in terms of digital. What we see now is that the push that we were trying to get behind for all these years became just that much more faster, right? So for us, it has been a situation where business cases that earlier took months and many rounds of whiteboarding sessions uh, was getting transformed into a call from the customer where they wanted to know what they can do. I'll give you an example. So this is a very large global beverage manufacturing company, and as you know, because of the impact on travel and tourism, these companies survive by providing their products to either the pubs or the hotels or other recreation outlets out there. And in the absence of any activity in those outlets, their market share has gone down significantly. In fact, they were launching programs to sustain their channels so that they can survive. Right. This is also a great opportunity we see for partners like us, where companies are not just focused on their survival, their profits, but they are for the probably first time such holistically thinking about their ecosystem and their entire channel partner system, right? Because they know that they cannot succeed alone, and if they have to survive, their channel partners have to do well. So many of the projects that we are getting invited into is not just about trying to create that opportunity for the end customer, but customers, channel partners as well. So again, going back to this example I was giving you, um, instead of trying to solve a problem which was more around acquiring new customers or maximizing the stickiness of the existing ones, we had some very interesting use cases. So the shifts that we saw was getting introduced to very interesting use cases where number one was turning the entire sales funnel upside down, right? So instead of trying to see and focus on new logos or new customers or new enterprises to sell into, this particular customer was very keen to see how digital can be leveraged to literally convert their entire service touchpoints into sales touchpoints. Now, the concept itself is not very new. That's the whole idea of a 360 CRM, if you think about it. But it's easier said than done, and rarely does the organization puts its might behind this entire effort, right? So, in this particular scenario, we saw the customer being very open to the idea of how can I leverage multiple data sources and try and see whether the service touchpoints that I have with my customers right now are actually giving a plethora of insights about how I can sell to them better. Right, so that's one shift we saw where interesting use cases emerged, which more the customer was forced into doing, and earlier was a good to have pitch that you used to make to our customers. The other thing that we saw is, and again, very, very fundamental, but I'm glad that it is happening at such a mass scale, is again the realization of being closer to customers' journeys, their end customers' journeys, right? So if I am a consumer goods product consumer today, my interaction with the brand itself has been redefined, right? I am no longer using the traditional channel to access that brand. Neither am I trying to find ways to get influence through the traditional channels, and everything will have to be reinvented. This last mile connectivity to the consumer is being redefined, so to say. So in that entire shift, channels which were never designed to be B2C, which were B2B, had to behave like B2C. What I mean is that call centers that earlier got 100 requests because they were only answering warehouses suddenly had to answer last point of consumption and had to operate like B2C centers. And you cannot overnight change your business model and your wiring inside the company unless you take the help of what's the latest and greatest out there in terms of either automation, cognitive bots to answer some of those queries, and generally a much more digitally transformed way of engaging your brand consumers versus just trying to do peripheral digitization for the heck of it. So a lot of the things, like I said, from our perspective, which were taking a lot of time to convince the customer, we saw an organic pull from the customer to actually adopt that and have the impatience to go for it now versus trying to go into that cycle of business case creation.